We are at Green Pride. It's with the guys from Wrexham, Dylan, and just doing a bit of filming. Yeah, I just started with the UK CSC logo. See that Peter Griffin. Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, you guys got to go.
Oh right, yeah, go on. Oh, Ant. Oh, they nearly had you there.
Nearly. And we're at the UK CSC tent.
That's what it's all about. Regulation. So
Safety controls, consumer safety,
Yep.
sensible regulation for adults, age regulated. All the problems they have with prohibition.
all the framework that they always bang on about, well,
That's it.
we've got it
All
underway.
the problems they talk about during prohibition, we're sort of gone, well, how do we resolve those issues?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, that's what
let's,
happens when politicians fall asleep on issues, isn't it? People
Yeah.
take over.
Well, the politicians are only doing what they think is most important at the time, so it's our job to make them realise how important this issue is, and we've been working this hard for that long, 8 years the club's been going now, and we're getting to the stage where people are actually seeing it as part of the British landscape.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a part of the culture.
Whether they
over
like it
here
or not, it's being normalised. So all of this is inevitable. Everything you see here, it's going to become commonplace.
now. If you make it so.
Yep. Everyone, just want to give everyone an update of how Green Pride went yesterday. What an absolutely brilliant time we had. So I went there with Wrexham Cannabis Social Club, and so I was there with Dylan and Ant. We mainly went there to sort of learn how new clubs like ours are going about organising, and it was great because it's inspired us that now we know that next year when we go to big events like Green Pride, we can go there with we'll know what equipment to bring, like get a proper gazebo thing, and what merchandise we might be able to sell. Gotta say a big thank you to the main organisers, in the UK CSC, of course, Greg. It was brilliant to meet all many of the people that I met back in February at Patients at Parliament. It's been a what a year it's been. So when me and Nikki are now expecting a little girl on the 15th of October, so I couldn't be more happy about that. Sorry, my face is a bit shiny at the moment. It was really hot there at Green Pride yesterday in Brighton. So yeah, we all came back looking a bit red-faced. So I'm just putting my vitamin D topicals on and so on. There was so many brilliant stalls there. One of them was CBD Brothers, so I got myself the purple one. And I was using that throughout the day, and it was pretty good. It was just so good to immerse yourself in. I've never known a community where you can just look at somebody that you've never seen before and just strike up a conversation that can just go on and on, and you just become friends. It's just so brilliant. It's because everybody's there unified about one subject, and that is that we're all trying to celebrate cannabis, and it's such a gift to humanity. And that's what Green Pride is all about. It's about celebrating, and also celebrating the diversity in the community, because that's one thing that is amazing about the crowd that was there yesterday. It's not just one colour or one sex or just a certain demographic or age or so on. There's people from all walks of life there, and even people that travel abroad to come celebrate Green Pride. And also in Brighton, it's basically the UK's progressive capital, because obviously it's considered the gay capital of the UK. So it was good to see some support from the gay community there as well, because obviously as cannabis advocates, we celebrate all forms of pride as well, because we are a progressive movement just like their movement. We're going to really, it's really inspired us in Wrexham Cannabis Social Club to really get organised now, because we want to start doing a lot more of these videos, like just online media in general. We really want to just turn the town green, really, in Wrexham. What we need to do really is to engage with the local population, and just get them to be educated about cannabis, because obviously there is still a failed drugs education in the UK that has it's cost so many lives. It's it's basically blood on successive governments' hands, really. I mean, when I was diagnosed and I found out the actual facts behind cannabis and the science behind it, I realised that through the education I had, I'd been lied to for 30 years. It was actually good for me as well, because I was able to talk to police officers there. I understand there were a few arrests, which is a shame, because but at the same time, they're kind of like the middlemen, these officers that get sent there. I was having a chat with one of them near the end, and yeah, he was a great guy. I was telling him about my story and about how it's one of you guys that actually played a big role in me learning about all this to do with cannabis, because I didn't know anything about it before I was diagnosed. It was only thanks to a former police officer that I was able to be knowledgeable about things like the ketogenic diet and the way cannabis can be used to manage brain cancer. I was trying to sort of say that I hope in the future, when it's legal, that we can, instead of you guys policing these events, we can just have you there with your own stall, just so that you can have like a public outreach thing, just to celebrate the diversity and so on in the cannabis community in Brighton and all throughout the country. I didn't go up on any stages this time and do some nerve-wracking speech. I was probably just too medicated at the time anyway. We're so looking forward to more events like this. We actually now have our Wrexham Cannabis Social Club event on the 25th of August, which so we're hoping to start getting that advertised and promoted, because we want to have a good turnout for that, and hopefully then we can, off the back of that, we can then do more large-scale events and just upscale it. So yeah, we've had a year of nothing but corruption from the government. We've seen them play a dangerous game of chicken with mothers of seriously ill children with drug-resistant epilepsy that's not resistant to cannabinoid treatment. We've seen breathtaking ignorance and just general lack of education from the prohibition lobby when they have been in debates with us on TV, for example, on the Victoria Derbyshire TV programme debate. I was particularly shocked by the lack of knowledge that the MP George Freeman had when he was on the show debating with Greg. It's just that bit near the end where he pipes up saying, you are advocating that people use skunk, are you? As if it's like a shocking thing, when it's just like he doesn't understand what skunk is. And that really brings home a wider point here, is that in the UK we have a government that is making a law on something they don't understand to the most basic dimensions of the whole subject on cannabis. How can we have a government that is making laws on something that it doesn't understand, that it doesn't have proper data on? And it doesn't have proper data on cannabis because they've forced a culture of ignorance where cannabis has been placed in Schedule 1, where obviously it's never going to be put into mass human trials to see what good it can do. And yet they go on TV and keep lying by using language like there's mounting evidence that it causes this and this negative consequence. So that's obviously a lie, where they're shooting themselves in the foot there with their Schedule 1 status, because if it's a Schedule 1 and there's no human trials on a large scale in the UK, then how do you have any data that there's any negatives in the human population? So they're just making laws based on beliefs, and this is not a law that should be based on beliefs. This is a law that should be based on scientific fact. So I won't ramble on too long. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that came to Green Pride yesterday. I just truly have love for this community, and I can't wait to see more of your beautiful faces again. Alright, see ya.